waiting on Harris. Just waiting on wee Harris to come and join me. Good morning everyone, happy Monday. I hope you're all well, I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Today is a strange one because it dawned on me this morning when I was preparing next week's art lesson that this is actually technically our last primary 1 to 3 lesson. I did a little poll last week to find out if people would like me to continue with the art lessons over the holidays. It's going to be quite a tricky summer holiday, no one's going to be able to go anywhere, we're going to be stuck at home, our holiday's been cancelled. And I think it was about 75% of you said yes, 25% said no, don't bother. So I think I better go with the majority. But I'm not going to do 2 a week, it's a bit much, it's a bit too much. So what I'm going to do next week is I'm going to start doing some open sessions for primary, in fact no, from nursery all the way up to secondary. So there won't be any age restrictions, there'll be lots of choices that you can make. It'll be a lot more like a workshop, it won't be a lesson as such. So this technically is our last primary 1 to 3 lesson this week. Next week if I was in class we wouldn't be doing lessons either, we would be getting the classrooms ready for next year. We would be playing my favourite thing, Harris, Pictionary in teams. We always play Pictionary in teams at the end of term, so we'll be doing games next week anyway. So because of that, this is our last art lesson of primary 1 to 3 this week. Tomorrow there'll be a lesson for primary 4 to 7, but primary 1 to 3 you're more than welcome to join in. It's going to be doing landscapes, Perthshire landscapes, and it's going to be creating a collage using your own pre-painted papers, so it's going to be a lovely one. Right, so today we are doing tinfoil fish. I've just had a little practice just before I came on. It's a wee bit fiddly, so you might need either an adult helper or to pause and come back on it, or you might, you might just need to take your time with this. So, resources that you will need for today's art lesson. Oh, this is my wee finished one that I just did a second ago. Okay, so that's just your tinfoily fish. Textures didn't turn out quite as well as I would have liked. I would have liked them to be a wee bit more bumpy with the netting underneath. You can kind of see it there in the light. Quite effective. Would have liked it a wee bit better. But maybe in the second one will be better. So you'll need a few things. You will need a piece of cardboard. Now I've gone for roughly about A6, it's about the size of my hand, and it's just an old, oh what is this, oh we've been eating lots of these lately, ice cream cone box, so we've got that at the ready. We've got some netting from some fruit, so I also found this from some of my vegetables. I don't know how that's going to work, it's a little bit tighter, it's a lot more plastic, so that might be tricky to stick, but I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. And there's this as well. If you couldn't find any netting, just get some string or something that you can crisscross over or lay in stripes over your cardboard. It won't honestly matter if you don't have any of this stuff. Lots of us are actually not wanting to buy these anymore, so you might find that a bit of a struggle. In fact, this would be a great thing to do with them to save them going to landfill. So if you have just gone with string, it'll still give you the textured effect. I just stuck mine down in stripes. It'll still give you a textured effect. I mean, I really should have made some crisscross over to make a scale pattern, but I was in a bit of a hurry. So it'll still give you that effect without the actual netting. You'll need some runny glue, some PVA glue for this, and you'll need some tin foil. I've already cut our bits of tin foil just to save a lot of faffing about. Now, one thing that you will need, if you want to make it colourful, you might just want to make it a plain one, but if you do want to make it colourful, these are pretty much the only things, correct me if I'm wrong, but these are the only things that will work on the metallic paper, which are Sharpies. You could paint on top of them, you could, what else could you use, chalk markers, you could use something like that, but really this is your only thing. If you use normal pens, they just wipe off. So if you're sitting there with your normal pens just now, get rid of them, because they won't work. Right, if you want to do a watercolour seascape for the background, you don't have to do that, but if you want to, I'm going to, fingers crossed if Mirren doesn't interrupt me, I'm going to show you that at the end. If you do want to do that, you'll need some paper, so I've gone for A3 white paper, some watercolours, a brush, some water, and to get a little bit of texture and make it look quite, you know, atmospheric, I've got some salt and I've got some cling film, so I really had to read the kitchen this morning. So that'll come at the end. Now, if I get, Mirren's not in great form today, She's sitting through the room with her brother, so I might get an interruption and I might need to stop and come back to you, just to warn you. And I might film the C bit at a different time if this takes too long. Talking of which, get started with the C. Let's all put a pocket in that top so it's out of the way, just in case we have a water spillage. Right. Oh, what is it?
I know. I get my shark toy.
You'll get your shark toy. Okay, go and get your shark toy then. Oh. Harris is very excited about this lesson. He's a little bit obsessed with the sea and sharks and going to sea life centres and places like that. He likes the shark. In fact, where did your shark go that you made yesterday? Go and show everybody it's lying up on the island. Alex had to do homework yesterday and Harris couldn't help himself but wanted to get involved. So he made one as well. Yeah, get your blue shark to show everyone. I think everyone would love to see this. This is made out of a paper plate. I put a wee link on my page actually because I was blown away by this. This was homework that Alex had to do, whoops a daisy, from his art teacher at school. And they had to use things like toilet rolls, paper plates, things that were kicking around the house. So this was Harris's shark that he made yesterday. It's pretty scary. Out of a paper plate. So yeah. It was a weekend and we were still having to do stuff. I'm just going to put him down there. What's his name again? What's that guy called? You had a name from yesterday, if you've forgotten already. You forgot already, right. Right, let's get started. So, Harris, what I'm going to do is I've actually made you a template because I know that you might struggle with this a little bit. So I've actually made Harris a template already. What I want you to do is draw around this template on your cardboard and then start cutting it out for me, okay? The rest of you, got my little piece of card here. Now we don't want to waste the card, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little dot there. That's where I want his mouth to be, and I'm going to take his tail right to the end. And I also want to touch the bottom and the top of the card. Now if it helps you, you're probably going to want to make this a little bit symmetrical, so I'm just going to draw a line on the middle to help me a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to curve that up there, curve that down there, bring it up closely. Well done. Do you want to cut that out now? You should have scissors beside you. Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You should have scissors behind you. So I've touched the top, I've touched the sides, and now I'm just going to add on a tail. And if you want to add fins or anything like that, flippers, then obviously you can. I'll probably get told off in a minute because it's probably not called that from Hannah's. Okay, so I'm just trying to fill up that whole section right now. With my fish. No point in wasting the card and making it really small and fiddly. Okay, so you've got something a bit like that. But as I say, if you want to add anything like a fin onto it, just to make it a bit more interesting, go for it, boys and girls. Right, next up, you're going to cut that out, that shape out, which Harris is doing now. It will be a little bit tricky. I'm hearing lots of coming from the corner of the room right now. It will be a little bit tricky because you're cutting out cardboard, you're not cutting out a bit of paper. So remember, sharp bit of the scissors is there, not there. So try and get your card right into where that hinge is. Okay, good boy. If you're a lefty, Sophie, if you're a lefty, hopefully you've got left-handed scissors at hand. And if you need a wee bit of a help, ask an adult to help you cut that out. If I was there, I'd be helping you right now. I might have to go and help my little boy right now. You alright? Doing a good job? Somebody's cutting the grass outside. I don't know if you can hear it. There's lots and lots of noise. One of my neighbours, one of my lovely neighbours. I'm not sure who it is today. And I apologise about my voice today. I probably sound a little bit my hay fever. Oh my goodness. If any of you have got any tips for hay fever, please let me know. I'm not in a good place. None of us have been in a good place. Right, so, place, fish. Boom, boom. Okay, so we've got my fish cut out. Harris, you done yours? You need a wee bit of help? Okay. Right, so Harris has cut his out as well. Looking good. So I'm going to make that a wee bit smoother just because it'll be hard to get the tin foil on, okay, at the end. Right, next up, grab your string or your netting. Okay. And what one do you want? I think you'd be better with this bit because I've pre-cut it already. Okay, and then what you're going to do, if you forgive me actually, I'm going to try it with this one just to see what it's like. What I want you to first of all do is put the glue on your cardboard. So with the glue spreaders...
Yay, blue.
You're going blue, your favourite. So spread that glue out all over your fish.
Mom, I think I did it on the wall.
It won't matter. You're going to cover it up in tin foil in a second. If you've put it on the wrong side or you think it's on the wrong side, don't stress. Okay, you want quite a lot of glue actually today. Normally I'm telling you to spread it out thinly, but today, actually, go for it. Right, so we spread that glue out, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my netting, like I'm catching the fish, on top of the cardboard.
So you can use them as glue dumpers.
Yeah, you can use them as glue dumpers. He loves that, please. Right, so you're laying that down. Oh, this is actually quite tricky. I'm going to put the fish on. Oops, I do that. Right, so lots of glue, and then spread your netting down on top. That one was actually a little bit too tight, just springing back up again. Just going to lay that down on top of the fish, like you're catching the fish in the glue, and just pat it down. Now, there's probably a lot of glue on your card just now.
And my fingers.
I don't think you put your netting in the right direction. Turn it round, the other way, landscape way, and it'll fit. And you've not put a lot of glue in the flipper, that's probably why it's not sticking. Right, there you go. Don't cut it yet, darling. I'll show you what to do. I know, you're cutting the extra off. Don't cut the extra bits off just now. So you've got something a bit like this for step 2 or 3, whatever that is. Okay, don't cut the netting that's hanging off the edges just yet. Okay, I'll show you a trick just now. Right, now what you're going to do is you're going to get your tin foil. Now, a lot of that glue will have seeped through the netting, through the holes. That's great. That means you don't need to add any more glue. If you think that there's not enough glue on, get a little bit more glue right now and put that on top. But you should all have quite enough. And you're just going to get your tin foil now and you're going to lay that on top. Shiny side up. There's a sort of less shiny side and a really shiny side. Lay it down on top of the fish and just press that down on top. And the glue will come through your holes from your netting. Oh, this is looking great already. That's a much better net that I've got this time. And it'll stick the tin foil onto the card. So if I just try and lift this up from the table, I'll show you what happened. You alright? Is it all stuck? You might need a little bit more glue maybe in places. Okay, so what you'll find is it's stuck to the back, so on the front you've got that. Right, forgive me for a second, I'm just going to help Hannah. I think you just need a little bit more glue, sweetheart. Take that wee bit of cardboard away that you've got. You've got a wee bit of an extra bit there. You've not. This is because you didn't have any glue on the tail. I noticed that earlier. Right, there you go. Right, now stick your tin foil on top. Right, so really press it down, press and hold. Remember, it's runny glue, so it takes about 10 seconds for it to stick. So if you want to press your cardboard down onto the tin foil and maybe count to 10 or 20 or practice a times table or sing a song, whatever you fancy.
Put it off.
No, just keep pressing down. That's it, pressing down. Right, now what you're going to do on the other side, did I say flip it over? I meant to say flip it over. Now what you're going to do is you can trim all the bits you don't need. So use that, Harry. So use that sheet to help you a little bit. Now, if you want to leave a little bit hanging off the edge, that's fine. You can actually fold it round. So I'm just going to flip your fish over. No, not the whole thing. Don't peel the tin foil off now. Right, now press down really, really, really hard. Oh, you've got glue everywhere. If you're sticky, rub your hands together really, really, really fast. Okay. Right, now you can trim that off. I don't think a lot of your fish is in the net. You've managed to somehow move it at some point, but that's okay. Right, folks, sorry, getting distracted by the 6-year-old again. So now I'm just cutting that extra bit off. Oh, tin foil is very easy to cut. Much easier than the cardboard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully you've left a wee bit at the edges, and you can then wrap that round the cardboard. Okay, you alright, darling?
Yeah.
Yeah, good job. Right, so if you've got a little bit left over, that's fine, because now what you can do is you can actually fold that around the edge of the cardboard. So if I show you on the other side, just fold that under. Makes it a really, really nice, neat edge.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What happened? Oh! Oh dear. You're all tangled up in your net. Where did your tinfoil logo? This is well when we had an extra bit. Just going to help Harris out a little bit here. We've gotten a bit sticky wicky. Right, let's try that again, shall we? You've kind of got glue everywhere. Pull that out of the way. Last week it was sand, this week it's tinfoil. Right, do you know what? Move up a bit up the table. There's so much glue on your mat there that you're getting stuck. Right, now try again. Right, sorry everybody, got distracted there by the 6-year-old. Right, so as I was saying, you can wrap this around the edges, any of the extra bits that you've got. Karen, you'll be cursing me right now, because I bet you quite like when Sophie just gets to go in and get on with it without bothering you. I've got a feeling she'll be shouting you out and go, Mum, I'm stuck. I've got glue everywhere. Right, so that's wrapped round your fish. Okay. Okay? Oh, I'm getting on better now. We just had too much glue on the table, and he had so much glue on the table that when he had his fish down, it stuck in the glue on the table. So when he tried to lift it, it was stuck to the table. Right, what's lovely to do now is you can now with your finger just rub on top of that, and all the netting, all the texture from the netting will be coming through your tinfoil. It'll look like the real scales of the fish. Right, I'm gonna take that off you for a minute because you've managed to get yourself completely stuck. Can I get your scissors? I'll use mine actually because you've got left-handed scissors. I'm just going to cut Harris's out. Just going to see 3 seconds here. Okay, that's that off. And that. Oops. This bit. And this bit. Right, here's that spare bit of tin foil gone. Let's stick that back over the top of that. Yeah. I'm about to get attacked by a shark. Harris is my wee comedian, aren't you? My wee joker of the pack. Right, there you go. Fixed it. Right, just you wrap. Yeah, okay, everyone's seen the shark. I'm just wrapping your tin foil around the edges so it doesn't come off again, okay? I think what I'm going to do for you, Harris, is just put a little bit more glue underneath your tin foil there because it's kind of coming up. Okay? Right, that's it. Fixed, good, save the day. Oh, there's your fish. Right, let's just sweep all this stuff out of the way. Right, so what's nice now, sorry I keep getting distracted, is with your fingers you can rub on top of that tin foil and you'll see all those lovely textures coming through, so it'll look like the real scales of a fish. This is when you need to go and get your Sharpies. Okay, so if you just get your Sharpies now, and you can choose some colours and you can colour in sections, you can add your eye, you can do whatever you want. You can make a rainbow fish, you can do stripes, you can do patterns, just go for it. Just be really careful with the Sharpies because you don't want to go right through the tin foil onto the cardboard again. So just lightly rub your Sharpie on top. And as you press down with the pen, the textures will come through even better. If I just show you this, close up of that. See, the textures are coming through. So when it moves, it really shimmers. It looks really, really, really beautiful. So I mean, you could go with anything with this. You could go with a pattern. You could go with anything you want. I'm not going to take too long doing mine because I've already done one. But I think you'll get the idea. Okay, sweet. Doing a nice job. Oh, lovely. Oh, he's so cute. He's like, is it Puffy the Pufferfish, your favourite story? Or one of your favourite stories? So it could just be quite random. You don't need to really, really think of patterns, but you see that texture coming through now, so it looks really beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to put it to the side because I've kind of got my finished one here. My finished one there. And we'll talk a little bit about background. So that's your fish done. All that stuff then. Shove it at the top of the table. Oh, I forgot to show you this one as well. So you've got your string one there as well. So again, it was the same sort of thing. Lay the string down in lots of glue, bit of tin foil, cut it to size, a little bit of an overlap so you can wrap it around the edges. And you can then colour that in as well, right up to the string. You can even leave the string there exposed, or you could go right over the top. But the Sharpies work really, really well because they're permanent, so they go over the top of anything. So you get a really, really nice effect there. They're also really, really nice for overlapping because you get a nice blend of your colours. This is one of these things where it's nice actually being at home, because if I was in the classroom right now, I would not have Sharpies for everyone to use. They're really, really, really quite pricey. I would have one or two and we'd have to share them. We wouldn't have a full set for everyone. So this is, I guess, one of the benefits of being at home, is that you probably do have your own set of Sharpies. And if you don't, I believe Tesco's had a great offer on them last week. Don't know if they still do, but you were getting like a pack of about 24 for about £10 instead of 25, I think it was. Miss Drysdale put a link on. I think it was Miss Drysdale. It might be Miss Ogston actually from Primary 2.
No, I think we need a new yellow.
Oh yeah, we need a new yellow. So when you go over the top of the string, it gives that really, really nice bumpy effect. So you could do any sort of patterns. And in future in class, you don't have to do fish. You could do like an abstract-y, metallic-y picture design, whatever you want to do.
What rainbow is next to yellow?
Pink. Your favourite colour.
What?
Pink would be next to your favourite colour.
I said yellow.
Yeah.
What?
Pink goes next.
No.
Red and yellow. Oh. Green.
Oh, okay.
Green, then blue, and purple. Pink did used to be his favourite colour. Until he went to school and got told it was a girl's colour. Right, I'm just fiddling about now. I keep colouring these in. I suppose I better get onto the background. Right. I'll stop. I'll finish this off when you guys are all away. Right, I'm going to show you to the background right now. I'm not going to make Harris do a background because he can just share my one. So, plus he's too busy colouring it. Got my paper and my watercolours. Now, before we use the watercolours, what I want you to do, just to help them spread a little bit easier, is just soak your paper with some water. Just some plain water. So that's what I'm doing just now. I'm not going to take it right to the edges. I'm going to leave a little bit of a border there, so I'm just soaking my whole paper just with some plain water. This will make the paper quite soggy and quite fragile. So just be careful, just lay the water down. Don't keep going over the top of the water again and again and again, because the paper will start to rip. The paper's really fragile right now. So if you keep doing that, you're just going to end up rubbing a hole right through the other side. Okay, so I'm just leaving a little bit of a space at the bottom, like a natural border. You don't need to take it right to the edges. I'm just soaking it. And the reason I'm doing this is it just helps the paint spread quickly. So it seems like a bit of a pointless task right now, but it helps the watercolour spread really fast for step 2. So naturally, you're doing a deep sea, so we're going to go with some blues. It doesn't need, you can have as many blues as you want, as many shades as you want. And you don't need a lot of water for this because you've just wet the paper. And all now you're going to do is you're just going to dab some of the paint into the water. If it gets too dry, get a little bit more water on your brush. And it's up to you. I mean, you can brush left to right, or you can just dab the colours down. I just like to dab. If I'm doing an underwater scene, I like it to look quite wet and quite flowy. So I don't really want it to have lines in it. I want it to look quite liquid, if that makes sense, quite splodgy.
Mama.
Oh, it's looking beautiful.
Ripped.
Oh, you've got a little bit of a rip. Don't worry. That's okay. We can cover that with a little bit of tin foil if you want. Look, there's some spare bits. You can always glue that on top. Harris has ripped his fish. He's pressed a wee bit hard with his pen. Hi, Gran. And I've not got a lot of my turquoise colour left because we've been using a lot of blue in this lockdown. So I'm just going to spread that across really, really, really quickly. And I'm going to show you what you can do next to add texture to your underwater scene. Maybe I should add a little bit of green. Should I add a little bit of green? You get little bits of green sometimes in the sea, don't you, Harris? So I'm just really going quite fast with this, not taking my time at all. It needs to, you want it to look quite messy, quite splodgy, nice and wet. Don't worry about the big massive puddles of water because I've got a wee trick up my sleeve for that. It's gone a little bit dry down at the bottom here, so I'm just going to add a wee bit more water. Okay.
Mum, I got some glue on the red pen.
Oh, don't worry. I think we could do with some new Sharpies anyway, don't you? Maybe get some for going back to school. Maybe get your own set actually.
Oh!
No, what?
Another red Sharpie. Useful?
Very useful. Very useful. Right, that's my background covered in paint. I can't hold it up, I'm afraid, because it's so wet and it's just going to drip all down the table. But I'll show you what I'm going to use next. So I'll take a photograph of this and send it on once it's finished. This is just some salt. So what I'm going to do now, actually no, skip that. I'll show you the cling film first before we do the salt. So what to do, get yourself a little bit of cling film. You don't have to do this, by the way, this is just a wee extra. You don't have to do cling film and salt, you could do one or the other. But what you can do is just take a little bit of the cling film and lay it, actually crumple it up just a little bit. Lay it now on top of your watercolours. Now you're going to leave this for a few seconds. But what you'll find it does, is it draws in the paint into little creases. And it's really effective. So you can lay that all over, or you can just do it in one little patch like I've done it. It's up to you. And when you lift it up, those textures remain. Ideally what you want to do actually is leave that until it dries. And when you lift it up, the textures remain. It looks like the shimmers in the water. Now another thing that you can do, if you're not keen on doing that, is you can add a little bit of salt into the puddles of water. This only works on the puddles of water, so do you see that texture there? Okay, and it looks like little bubbles. That will only work on the wet sections. If it goes on the dry, all that happens is it just stays on top of the paper without doing anything. But what it's doing is it's drawing in the liquid, it's crystallising, and it's quite effective. What you don't want is pink salt like I seem to have. I've got some pink salt here, which I suppose it looks like coral, you could argue. This is just your gold standard, actually a rock salt binder. Okay, but if you don't put it in the puddles, boys and girls, what will happen is it just lies as salt and it just falls off. It won't have any effect at all. So if I just show you that, a close-up of that. So you've got this sort of effect, which can look really effective. And you've also got the cling film, which ideally you want to leave until it dries. The cling film, but I'm just going to take mine off now, just so that I've got it dry in time. Okay, so that's your background. What you can do then, once your fish are finished, is you can glue them on top of your background. And you've got your underwater scene. I'm not going to glue it just now because it's too wet. We could have a couple of fish on there. Okay. I'll probably glue mine on and stick Harris's on the other side. So that's us. Pretty simple one. Really pretty, really effective. We've made our fish quite big. You could always do little totty ones. Don't feel like you've got to do them as big as ours. And yeah, you don't have to have the netting, you don't have to have the string, you don't have to do the background. There's lots of options there. I think I wrote that on the blurb earlier, that today's lesson. There's lots and lots of different choices. I'm going to post this now, so that people can catch up, and I'm going to stick it onto the YouTube channel as well, which is a wee bit easier to manage, I think, for videos. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all your suggestions and all your lovely kind comments and everything. It's been great fun. Next week we're going to be looking at, we did look at this guy before when we did our circles, but we're going to do a different picture next week. We're going to do a Kandinsky abstract picture. So that will be next week's art lesson, and that will be from everyone from nursery all the way up to secondary, so anyone can take part in that. So it's not for primary 1 to 3 and it's not for primary 4 to 7, so spread the word. Harris has done the most wonderful job with his rainbow fish right now. Can't wait to take a picture of it to show you. It's really beautiful. It's really developed a wee talent over the holidays, haven't you? Art never used to be his favourite thing, but lately it's just lots doing it all. Right, lots of love. Thank you again. Remember to send me those photos, and I'll wait and finish this, and I'll put the picture up as soon as we're done. I'm going to go deal with Mirren, who I can hear in the background. Lots of love. Take care.